direction?
0.
Okay, that's an idea. Jim, would that compromise the... that was the word I was looking for, compromise.
There is some past precedence if the board would like to pay a certain amount upon execution of the contract. If you wanted to advance a small part, just a part of the amount due upon execution of the contract. Like a
completion type of phase construction project? Jim?
Well, the only comment I would make is, we can amend the contract however you want. We'll take it back. They'll either accept it or not accept it.
Got it.
If they don't accept it, we'll be back to your board with a proposal to do it with county staff.
I'm not going to go in that direction. Supervisor Patello?
Yeah, that's what, I hear some of the concerns that about the upfront money, but in the whole course of the contract, that's just a minimal percentage of it. I'm more concerned about the $200,000 from Hollister, to be honest with you. I don't share the optimism that you have or the faith in the mayor that he's able to swing anything at City Hall. And, I'm just saying, that's what I'm worried about is the $200,000 and our partner, being a partner in this project, which we certainly do need that, and because the homeless problem is pretty much centered around Hollister and in the unincorporated areas. We both agencies have to work together, and you've done an outstanding job, Director Riding-Sword, as far as fostering that and involving other agencies and stakeholders in trying to pull this all together. The $100,000, negotiating and not knowing these folks personally, so you probably have a better feel whether they would. Oh yeah, well, we don't need it. This is a brand new program. We're just taking that first step, and maybe it's not unreasonable for them to have some money up front. It may not be unreasonable, but I'm more worried about the revenue if we don't get the 200 from Hollister. Mm-hmm. I'm more worried about future years' revenue, but that's always be a scramble.
Yeah.
So I'd rather hear what do we do if we don't get the 200,000 from Hollister.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me comment on Community Homeless Solutions. I don't know what their board would do. My guess is if the advance isn't there, they'll probably say we have enough business in Monterey County, and so we're therefore not going to do this. However, that's entirely up to us as far as I'm concerned. I'll carry whatever message the board wants me to carry to a contractor. In terms of the city of Hollister, if they decide not to be a funding partner with the county on this project, then Health and Human Services has a couple of choices, and I thought about them last night. One is we go find some more money, and we're actually pretty good at that. Two is we open the shelter up when we run it as a full-time 7-day-a-week shelter for the winter months, and then in the non-winter months we cut back the number of days. And we would have to come back and have that conversation with you.
Okay, no, that's good. I appreciate those comments, and hopefully they'll step forward. I think this county needs to have a full-time shelter and service center. With that, if there's any more comments, Mr. Chairman, if not, I'll make a motion.
Well, I'm okay with 100,000 now. I have faith in you, Jim. Is it to our advantage to put a clause in here saying subject to the city hall giving us a 200,000, or just move on as it is right now and hope that the city hall comes in and says, okay, we're going to be partners?
We put that clause into the contract.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that, right?
That wouldn't be my advice.
Okay.
I think that
All right.
the direction from the board would be to us that, Health and Human Services needs to, if that were to occur, Health and Human Services needs to go back to the table and bring options back to the board as to what we're going to do.
Okay, before I ask for a motion, and I've said this every time this comes up, that we're not using general fund money to finance this, right?
We are not.
And we won't in the near future.
Not in my future.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Supervisor Medina.
When did we go to the city of Hollister and ask for the $200,000? I mean, I know it was last night, but did we go prior to that?
Oh, no, we presented our report to them a few weeks ago, to the city. And we've been in discussion, particularly with the mayor over, I've been meeting with the mayor probably about once every month or so, just going over the issues. He's supportive of the city of Hollister stepping forward on this. I think it's going to happen. I think it's just, just like you guys, you struggle with budget and you talk about it and try to make the right kind of decision. I think they're trying to do the same thing. The fact of the matter is they're either going to do it or they're not. If they do it, we're okay. If they don't do it, we got to go back to the table.
Okay.
But why did we wait for so long? I mean, we're talking about opening in the next couple months or next month, I believe, right? And now we're going to the city.
We had to nail down the cost on what it was going to be before we came back to you or the city on those issues.
Okay.
And timing isn't always what we want it to be, but the timing is really tied to putting the numbers together and making it work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
One last question.
Sure, Supervisor Menzer.
Thank you, Mr. Jim, this Community Homeless Solutions, this is the agency that was running the facility that Supervisor Patello and I went and viewed about a year ago.
One of their facilities, yes.
That was one of their facilities,
Yeah.
okay. And they ran a very good facility there, so I'm okay with the agenda as presented by staff.
And amended.
And amended, yes.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I'll second.
So is that
Okay, that'll
motion?
be my motion then.
And you second it?
Yeah.
Just for the record, just to repeat, the motion is to approve as recommended by staff and include the $100,000 upfront advancement. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries 5-0. I'm sorry, 4-0.
Okay.
Next item.
So we're
Okay.
prepared to give you an update or to defer that to another board day if you would
Let's
like
do
to.
it for the 21st, and the reason why is because we're having the grand opening on the 21st.
All right, we will do it on the 21st.
That'd be a smart idea. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Jim.
right. Yeah, and we will be doing a ribbon cutting
Yes.
on the 21st, and hopefully tours. We'll see where we are. We probably have some final touches to do then, so but we can do that.
Yeah.
And pictures and those kinds of things. We talked with the Community and Homeless Planning Group yesterday afternoon in our meeting, and it's just I'm kind of astounded at how far this county has come in the last 4 years working on this issue. We are actually going to be written up as a case study at the request of the state of California to be published across the nation. So thank you for your action today, and we'll be back on the 21st to update you.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All right. Number 20. CEO Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this item came to your board last board meeting during the fourth quarter and first quarter review. In particular, it was the fourth quarter. Melinda Casillas, our management analyst, gave you a report back explaining that we were approximately $1.5 million in the black from last year. However, that there was one caveat that we had to consider further was with our ag commissioner and with regards to gas tax. So we had mentioned to your board that we would be coming back to your board, and here we are today to discuss this particular item. Melinda?
Yes. So we were, Karen was unable to be here last meeting, and so this is also why this is back. There was a request for $246,000 as a set aside in the general fund balance in order to receive the unclaimed gas tax for the year 17-18. The county, agricultural counties are can be part of the unclaimed gas tax distribution by the state of California. These are the unclaimed gas tax comes from agricultural events in the county where through tractors used on the farm. These are off-road monies. And in order to receive the gas tax, the county has to also has a requirement of an MOE. And the county has a couple of MOEs that they currently have to provide funding for: trial court funding, IHSS, behavioral health, HSA, to name a few. These MOEs, the money for these MOEs actually leave the county. They have to be paid to the agencies or to the state of California. However, the Ag Commissioner, this MOE would stay with the county. It would just be a set aside in the general fund balance. And we're designating this to be for future building concerns. As you know, the Ag Commissioner and the Ag Extension are, I believe, the only offices remaining in the original buildings at the South Side complex. So there are anticipated to be some building issues with those departments. I wanted to sort of show you a history of the Ag Commissioner's office. As you can see, in 2014, there was a net county cost of $213,000, and as we've gone through the years, 2017, there was actually a return by the Ag Commissioner's office to the general fund of about $120,000. As you can see, the major difference here is that the revenue has increased from approximately $638,000 to over $1 million in 2017. And this is what's causing the MOE not to be met. So if you have any questions, Karen is here to answer any questions regarding the gas tax or the MOE process. But we are requesting roughly $246,000 to be set aside in the general fund for future use.
Okay. Any questions of the board?
I just have one question. This is real good in my book, anyhow, that the Ag Commissioner is able to be very efficient with her duties in regards to the state requirements and contracts that we have to commit to, and to come out with some money at the end of it that we could kind of shift into a reserve for capital improvements that we absolutely desperately need for our ag department. It's long overdue. Do we have projections going forward to kind of reflect the same thing, or as far as it's great looking back, but going forward, do we expect this every year, or?
So 17-18 might be kind of a repeat of this year. However, because the budget's already been set. However, for 18-19 and going forward, we really need to also look at their staffing issues. And we've been trying to also provide for a vehicle, a replacement vehicle every year. So in order to not have quite a big MOE set aside every year, we would basically need to be looking at expenditures and expending a little bit more
Okay, so this money, where you're categorize it, could be used for operations and/or capital improvements?
Possibly, we are looking to just set this aside, especially for building uses.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
I understand, because we talked about this at the audit committee this morning, and I guess I was bought into it, the idea, but I just still have this little concern, because we're taking general fund money out and putting it into a department that now has a trust fund, and all other general fund departments don't have that flexibility. And I'm concerned about that. That's about the only negative out of this perspective idea. But I know it's a revenue, it's a good thing. But even if for every $2 that we put into this, we're only going to get $1 back. But for the sake of moving progress, I'm okay with it. And it's just I'm okay. I'm comfortable now. Any other questions? Nothing. Open up to the public. You have any speaker cards? No speaker cards? I'll close it. Joe, go ahead.
Good morning, Chair, Board of Supervisors. Just want to clarify that this is not going to create a trust fund. This is simply the board wishing to designate or assign these funds as part of the general fund, as part of the reserve. It's assigned separately. That's all you're doing. Okay.
Same thing. Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
One question before we leave this. We were putting this in the ledger, so to speak. Is it going to stay, the Ag Department kind of raised this money. It should stay with the Ag Department. These funds can't be used elsewhere in the county, or can be?
Well, at the board's pleasure, it could be moved where you see that it can be used. But the intent here is this is gas tax money that for a specific purpose, and that's why you guys are making this assignment. The board is acting to assign these funds for this specific purpose on behalf of the Ag Commission.
Mr. Chair?
Supervisor Monsieur.
But because it is gas tax money, we would get sideways with the state if we tried to move it.
Well, I think you better have the department talk.
Well, moving this money into a trust, or however you want to designate it, would allow me to expense it off indirectly over my ag programs, and then that's what will create my MOE, in which we would now receive gas tax based on that. So I have already expensed it off as an ag expense. And so, therefore, it needs to come back to the Ag Department.
That's Mr. Chairman, was where I was trying to get at. Thank you, Overstreet.
Okay. All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll move per staff recommendation.
The second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries 4-0. Okay. We will now go to closed session. County Council.
Number 21 is being removed from the agenda. Item number 22, closed session, conference with labor negotiators, agency designated representatives, Danya Torres-Wong, Ray Espinoza, Joe Paul Gonzalez, Melinda Casillas, Barbara Thompson, Steve Coffey. The only employee organization will be SEIU Local 2015. Authority Government Code Section 54957.6. 23, closed session, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to subdivisions D4 of Government Code Section 54956.9. We will discuss one case in closed session. 24, closed session, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, subdivisions A and D1 of Section 54956.9, name of case, County of San Benito versus Richard Scagliotti, Superior Court of California. County of San Benito, case number CU 16-00007, and 25 is closed session. Conference of legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Section 54956.9, number of cases 1, authorized pursuant to subdivisions D2 and E1 of 54956.9.
Okay, we will go to
Mr.
closed
Chair,
session. Yes.
I would like to announce that I would be excusing myself from item number 24 as a perceived conflict of interest.
Duly noted. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to closed session.